Poetry Day. So we are choosing some of the most engagement students to have some candy, if you like one.
If you laugh the most
Yeah.
loudest.
Okay, so first of all, does anyone knows what day is today?
National Poetry Day.
Yes, you are
Yes.
correct.
Very good.
We will give you candy at the end of the presentation. So let me introduce World Poetry Day. So World Poetry Day is why do we have World Poetry Day? So the purpose of World Poetry Day is to promote the publishing, writing, and analyzing, and the teaching, which is what we are doing now, of the poetry, as the original UNESCO declaration said that give fresh recognition and impetus to national, regional, and international poetry movement. And you might be asking to yourself, what is this guy doing here? What is poetry? How does poetry benefit us? Why are we doing poetry? And as we can see from the data, you see top 5 motivation from children and adolescents to write poetry. Here we can see that most people write poetry because they are feeling creative and so on. Okay.
So this is our inquiry question of today. What is poetry? So poetry is a type of literature the reader's imagination or feelings. Poetry does this by carefully choosing the words to put in the poetry according to the meaning, sound, and rhythm. Some poems can be very simple or easy to understand, like nursery rhymes. Others can be very complex and reflect the parts of the society. People through the world have been writing poetry for thousands of years, and this is very complex. And so it's making it very difficult to define what it is because it's very broad.
Okay, so next I'm going to talk about the poetry and the difference between other texts. So first I'm going to talk about what is difference between poetry and songs. So poetry is kind of literary text that uses syllable rhythm and imagery to create a combination of words that express a certain theme. And song is a literature text that requires melody, which is music to express a form of theme. So poetry and song has is intertwined together through thousands of years, just like what Ethan said. And thus poetry is the first literary text in the world. So poetry must be better than song. A famous rapper, Tupac, is also known as a poet. And most importantly, poetry is shorter and easier to read. And what can we do with poetry? So is any one of you suffering like psychic scar and like emo? So you can try to write some poem to heal your wounds. It is how people used to heal their wounds in the olden days. And if this guy is writing poetry, why aren't you reading? Why aren't you writing and reading? And what if I told you, does anyone of you here hates poetry? Okay, then good. No one hates poetry. Okay, other than that, poetry, can anyone of you tell me what do you think of seeing this picture?
那个草地上那个好像有一个人。
Okay, she's very poor, right? Okay, so poetry can be used to inform about global issues. So, do any of you feel sorry about this animal? Write a poem to help them. So, it can also be used to express your own identity. So, for example, you guys are third grade, you can write a poem about third grade. So, poetry is a way of author to explaining their own sound in an abstract way. And famous poet uses poetry to express their feeling, ask questions, and incorporate a diversity of voices of way of thinking. So poetry is a powerful tool to express your own identity. You can use this kind of art to introduce yourself. It seems very.
Fish are magic. Magic.
Wait a second, let me go back.
Magic.
introduce yourself is very cool, but not much of them know how to do it. So you could become the first poet in Christian history.
Yeah, very good.
Okay, so how do you analyze a poem? So this is very easy. So first we have the structure, which is the stanza, rhyme, and sound and syllable. The stanza is, as you can see here, the back half poem. Here, you have 4 lines. The group of lines in the poem is a concept of stanza. And the rhyme is the repetition of syllable. So in this poem, you can see that the rhyme scheme is A, B, A, C, B, A. And then we next have the concept of content, which includes theme, literary device, and imagery. And also context, which this two you guys don't need to know right now. You will be taught in the 8th grade.
So this is a very handsome and man that is after learning poetry can be as handsome as him. And if you have no risk, you can also try poetry. So this is sometimes there is some difference between what the poet is writing about and what the readers is think what the poetry is about. So sometimes it can be very simple, but we can have many different meanings from the poetry. So this is a guy. His name is Robert Frost. He's an American poet known for his work of depicting the rural life like in Florida, and he's won 4 Pulitzer Prize for his poetry. He once said that if you have never tried poem, who's in writing a poetry is like discovery. So it's telling us how it can be like an adventure when we are discovering the poem. And this guy, it is a very famous American actor and producer, David Hardy, and he has produced movies like Kill Bill and Kung Fu. He once said that if you cannot be a poet, you can be the poet, meaning that if you cannot create, you can at least read the poem because it's very interesting. Even LeBron James, which we might know this very famous basketball player, he also has a poem about him. You can see here. And this poem is made out of emotion. It can inspire us into like being like very successful, and we can be more successful if you read poems. So have you ever like heard of Li Bai, Bai Ju Yi, or Shakespeare? Yeah. So because many of you raise your hands up, you see that poetry makes people very famous, and because we all know those guys, right? Because poetry makes you very special. So poetry can make you stand out from the others. Can make you very different. So as here, according to research, we can see that because of the fMRI, is basically a machine scanning your brain, can show that poetry has benefit to our brain because poetry, right, it has many sensitive devices or like languages part that can trigger our brain and stimulate it and can be very beneficial. Like those parts of the brain can be activated when you are reading poems, and it can be very beneficial, especially for you guys because you are children, so you can develop your brain functions very well when you are reading the poem. So poetry is that, as I said before, it can help develop our problem-solving skills and also can express our complex emotions. So making poetry can make you feel very cool. It's not just boring things that you learn in school, but it is very wonderful, amazing, and magical way to express who you are. So isn't it poetry cool? Yeah, it is. So in reality, we are still going to learn poetry in grade 8, and as we are very juggling in the poetry class, so you might as well start very early so you can do well in Mrs. Power.
Another reason for you guys to like poetry is that poetry can improve your language skills. So here, poetry is an artistic way to communicate your emotions through a use of literary device, rhymes, and imagery. And it is very simple. And so, for example, a very simple word like "I'm very happy," with some theme and some creativity, you can produce a poem like that. It's very complex and just sounds and looks good. And also, it doesn't matter if you like poetry or not, because poetry is already in your everyday life. So, do you guys know any of them? No. Okay. Maybe you guys are too young.
No.
Okay. Yeah. Well, what if I but I can tell you that they are all poets because song also contains poetic elements, and both poetry and song lyrics are forms of artistic expression through the use of language and to convey emotion, ideas, and imagery. And this is a quote about how poetry is in our everyday life. So if you really listen closely and pay close attention, you can see how poetry. You can see poetry in how people speak and even from how strangers speak.
Okay, next. I'm comparing poetry to video games. Do anyone like to play video games? Yeah. Okay. Poetry is better than video games because it's learning, improvement in English skills, and also develop freestyle, pathology, and artistic skills cultivation, and also relationship and friendship. Compared to poetry, video game is a play. It will limit thoughts and imaginations, and most likely cause lower grades, cause bad emotions when losing a game, and will damage eyesight. You can't spend a lot of time on your learning, so it's a shame of still be playing video games. Come join us a big family of poetry, and then parents will be proud of you, and parents won't cry for your grades. Okay. A famous word from our English teacher, Mrs. Barr. She is our favorite English teacher and also your future English teacher. She said, I actually love poetry, but you guys are killing me. So due to the fact that Mrs. Barr loves poetry, if your poetry sucks, then your grade will suck too. Okay, why is poetry cool? I think that poetry is cool because it's commissioned by the Poetry Foundation, publisher of the Poetry Magazine and one of the largest literary organizations of the world. The research finds that vast majority, 90% of the American readers highly value poetry and believe that it enriches the life of those who read it. Most of people think poetry is such a wonderful thing to learn and read. Even this guy, he said that he loved poetry. And also, a famous poetry can last forever. I think everybody knows his name, and do you guys know this poetry? Yeah.
全民愿望，一世定山峰，举头望明月，低头思变山。
Yeah, he gets famous. And if you start to read poetry and create poetry, the next one will be you. You'll be the next Levi. Okay, and furthermore, you can create your own unique poetry. Poetry conveys emotions and express your own opinion. You can create anything. The only limitation is your imagination. Do you know this person? Stephen Curry. Yeah, even Steph Curry haven't thought about him. Here, look. My winner is Stephen Curry. Get to the bar and don't worry. He posts up for that game winner. Just eat your dinner. It's actually easy to create a poem. You can try.
So reason for you to start also writing poetry. So according to studies, creative writing poetry is positively associated with subject well-being, meaning that by being good at poetry and writing poetry, you can also improve in all of your other grades. And another study shows that there's many benefits from writing poetry, such as improvement in writing skill, writing attitude, lesson attitudes, and much more. So we invite you to also start learning and also trying to write your own poetry. Because poetry is a fun way to play with your imagination through the use of words and also learning at the same time. So give it a try. Next. And so, an example is myself. I once didn't like poetry, but now I like poetry so much that I stand up in class just to answer questions about poetry. So I have fun during English class because of poetry, and I think you guys should too.
So it's a conclusion. So poetry is very wonderful. It can give you wisdom. It can also make you stand out from the crowd. It adds possibility to your future. So wisdom, power, and adventure. So it not only improve your skills in English, but as I said, you can also improve your skills in like your brain's functionality. So what are you waiting for? Join us in the amazing trip of poetry.
And that. So what are you waiting for? Come and join us. Start to create and read poetry. Gain back your grades, gain back your good mood, and gain back your true happiness. Thank you, everyone.
Any questions?
Does poetry have to make sense?
No, it sometimes can be like
Nonsense.
Question else? Anyone else have any questions? Anya, you have a question?
Does poetry like have to be like only about one topic?
No, it can be about anything. What you like or what you don't like, or just anything you can think of. As long as you make it sound nice, it's a poetry.
Just note this.
Who asked the question?
Oh, Stephen.
Raise your hand if you didn't ask the question. Unless you're gonna ask one now, Gary.
Someone who asked a question.
Does anyone else have any questions?
How long does the poetry reading have?
Speak a little louder.
How long does the poetry writing?
It doesn't have any limitation as long it is poetry, and just like I said, the topic has no limitation. Basically, the whole literary text has no limitation. Okay.
Go.
So basically, if you want to add in detail, just like I said, how do you analyze poem? We have many concepts within a poem, like a literary device. You can add in detail within that, but there are poetry that is very short, which might not be very detailed. Okay.
Does it have to rhyme? Does it have to rhyme?
No, it is not necessary.
Like the style of the poetry varies, so it doesn't necessarily have to be poetry, but sometimes.
I guess if you don't have a real question, you just want candy. You can't. So how about we're not gonna give candy for questions?
Oh.
Unless you have a, so if you have a real question, that doesn't mean you get candy. Yes. Then you can come up with a real question. So do you have a real question, Ansel?
I give it. How many topics can you put in one poem?
It's usually one main idea, but then if you like, as you just mentioned, there is no limitations. You can add many different topics, and as long as they make sense together and you form a complete idea and have a complete message, it's fine.
Okay, so we have two more candy left. Oh, you asked. Okay, one more left.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Okay, put your hands down. When I mention three, put your hands up. 1, 2, 3. Wait, okay.
Who is
Huh? Huh? Ethan. Wait, that's not the question. Wait.
One more.
1, 2, 3. What's your question? Question. What? You said it? Okay. And thank you. We're finished.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.